called Movie Ratings. Is Hollywood's rating system too lenient? I provided a counterpoint paper on the topic. The article used three main points to support the leniency argument. The first point was that the ratings explanations are not verbose enough for a parent to make an educated decision. The second point was that there is too much violence and sex in movies. And the third point was that seeing violence on TV causes children to be more violent. So I'll start by analyzing the author's first point that the ratings explanations are not verbose enough. So a rating for a movie is important to parents, but at the end of the day, is it more important than the plot of the movie? No, it's not. So logically, you wouldn't waste space on a DVD box with super elaborate ratings of the various violent behaviors in the movie or sexual encounters when you could just say violent scene and sexual encounters. I think if you're the type of parent who is picky enough to say, okay, well, violent behaviors are okay if there's no blood, or sexual encounters are okay if they're not too steamy, then the best bet is to just watch the movie yourself and then decide for your child, rather than relying on a rating system. Moving on to the second point, that there's too much violence and sex in movies. So statistics show that the average child has been exposed to porn by age 11, and 94% of children have been exposed by age 14. So PG-13 ratings may suggest they'd be 13 or older to watch alone, but in reality, the statistics show that kids younger than 13 are exposed to worse images than would be allowed in a PG-13 movie. Also, saying there is too much violence or sex in movies is vague and subjective. Lastly, the author says that seeing violence on TV causes children to be violent. So first off, no studies have proven causation of this yet. There are studies that show correlation, but correlation is not causation. It's just as possible that violent children tend to watch violent movies rather than violent movies create violent children. In addition, the director of the Center of Media and Child Health at Boston's Children's Hospital has said that in his experience, children are more likely to be anxious and fearful after exposure to violent movies than more aggressive. In conclusion, whether a movie is appropriate for a kid is in and of itself a subjective concept. The goal of the MPAA raters is to determine what the average parent in America would think. These ratings are made by people. Subjectivity should be expected, and if it's that important to you, then you should watch it yourself before making any decisions for your child.